Like you rightly said at the beginning of the program this morning, it's day 6 of the nationwide protest against bad governance. And of course, the effect of this protest cannot be underestimated when you look at what we are losing in terms of Naira and Kobo, especially those men and women who make their daily pay through what they sell. Today on the program, we'll be looking at the economic implications of the nationwide protests. We'll be looking at it from different angles, both from the corporate world as well as those men and women who do buying and selling in their local markets in our communities. We have two gentlemen in the studio with us this morning. They will be sharing with us their own perspective as regards the economic implications of these nationwide protests. Right here with me is Olusegun Okunade. Sheson Okunade is a policy development analyst. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good morning, Jibola, and good morning to all of you.
And over there with the ladies, we have Prince Abiodun Kosoko. Prince Abiodun Kosoko is Baba Oja General, Agbado Okiodo Local Council Development Area, representing our communities on the program this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Okay, Sheson, let me start with you. I was flipping through the pages of some dailies this morning, and there was a particular statement credited to the chairman of CCCPE, Muda Yusuf, where a particular figure was quoted that we are losing 400 billion naira daily because of this protest. How does that come to you, especially now that the economy of the country is so fragile?
Thank you very much, Jibola. Sincerely speaking, the value quoted by my senior colleague, Muda, it's to me even below what is expected. What do I mean? Let's start from the cradle. The man and woman that sell in front of your houses. Because of this protest, a lot of people have actually withdrawn back to their shell. Because when there is unrest, you cannot guarantee if that little of that product that you have within your domain is secured. Two, in the last few days, in fact, the first 2 days, we've seen our markets shut down completely, malls shut down completely. Private organizations do not have, their staff come to work. And you can imagine, maybe few production arms who cannot shut down have decided on their own to warehouse their staff and asking them not to go. Because for every business person, safety first in anything you need to do. So you discover Thursday, Friday, the whole system was grounded. And when you look at the chunk of revenue being generated on daily basis in our locality, you discover that the 400 billion we're actually talking of, it's a tip of the iceberg when it comes to that. And what we have said is that the government on their path have come out to address certain issues. Because when you say you are protesting, it's to draw the attention of the people to say, these are our problem. What are the major measures that you have actually put in? If they are not addressing it directly, does not imply that you will use your own right, you call fundamental right to assemble and gather, to affect other people. You see, we can speak big grammar, but my impact goes to those individuals that live on daily income. In fact, some have to come out in the morning. Imagine somebody selling pure water.
Or pap.
Or pap. How do you expect that person to survive when the whole environment is tensed? Coming out to be attacked? The answer is no. And you discover that from that, I don't know how much they sell a bag of pure water now. From that 100 or 150 naira, maybe by the sale he makes an extra of 100 naira and sell 2 or 3 bags, 300 naira to feed himself and his family. And he's not even having access to that. Now look at the multiplier effect of all other areas. The truth of it is that a lot of us have said, you want to protest, a day or two, you've passed your message, and the president has come to address.
He said he heard them loud and clear. Whether
some of those address is addressing your issue, you should withdraw back, reiterate, and let's see how we can give timeline. I keep telling every individual that cares to listen, some of us are not on the streets,
But you are aware, we make use of every platform we have to engage the government on certain things that are expected of them to do. Somebody is asking that bring down the fuel to 100 naira. I said, is that realistic on your own path? We must first look at a way of engaging the government to say, sir, you have come on board. We need our refinery to start functioning. Before the remaining 4 comes to mainstream, we have one, the Dangote. You've given the order. And it's something I want Mr. President to address. Enough of we giving instruction and people don't follow to letter. Mr. President gave an instruction last week that we should start availing crude
in Naira
to Dangote. Up till now, action has not been taken. I think it's high time we start taking decisive decisions to start making else to roll.
Even the former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, referred to this directive of Mr. President this morning in one of the dailies.
Of course. Enough of... See, I don't understand. When Dangote was coming upstream, even the elites, the people that are frustrating, he said, this is a game changer for our country. And I listened to you at the other end. When you are treating your own like this, we are already frustrating the effort of Mr. President. Of saying foreign directive will come. If I come to your locality, and I know that's your terrain, where you grew up, when Jibola speaks, everybody bow. And they are maltreating you, and you're saying, Sheso, come and invest in this place. I would never come.
Okay. Sheso, I think we should also hear from the grassroots and, of course, take some comments from Prince Abiodun Kosoko.
So, your comment?
My comment on the development, yes. The gentleman that I've just spoken is saying the correct thing. The cost of the estimated bill that they are giving to the government of 400 billion is just a mere say. To us in the local level,
how was it affected?
It's affecting us by means of bringing goods down to the markets. We have emphasized and we have spoken to the government to make the bill of a product to be only 2. That is when you load from where you are buying and you offload where you are selling. Okay. And if these 2 are not complied with, definitely food items will be high in the market. That is 1. 2, bringing it down during this time is difficult. So cost of bringing it down will be added to the cost of the product you are going to buy. 3, safety of what we want to buy in our markets. The marketers are not safe. Our goods are not safe. And most of these things that we sell are perishables. Pepper, tomato, albosa, all these onions and everything. So if you don't sell in a day or 2, they are wasted. You have to throw them away. And there is crisis everywhere. They say you should not open market.
So what's the situation now?
The situation is getting calm because people are coming out to buy, and we have stocks for them to buy. Thank God we have a listening leader, that is Chief Mrs. Folashade Tinubu Ojo, the President General of Market Women Association in Nigeria, who has instructed and guided us with word of advice. Please don't shut down the markets. If the markets are shut down, then the country will collapse. If people cannot buy what they want to eat in their houses, at least once in a day, and we are not saying water to drink, a good water for say, you don't see it, you don't see food, so what are we talking about? People on the street would not even be on the streets because they will not be able to buy anything you want to eat. Market activities is that is local market activities, is very, very important to the government. Awareness must be created for them, dialogue must be given to them. You must be calling them for dialogue. You must be advising them. You must be encouraging them. Whichever way. That's what Asiwaju was doing when he was in Lagos before. Now he's in Abuja. So Governor Sanwo-Olu is trying. He has been engaging us. He has been assisting us, and he even brought 25% discount on food items for us. So we want it to come back. That product cannot stop. That time that we were having it was stabilizing the market prices. If we sell a bag of rice for 50,000, the one they are selling in the market for 70,000 will not be able to be bought. Definitely, will bring it down. So these are the things that we think will be helping the government to survive.
Sheso, I have a question for you. Earlier, you mentioned some of the immediate consequences of the economic loss. Can you let us into a probable long-term consequences of this, economic consequences of this protest?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me state here that as we speak, the small and medium enterprise that should be like a leveler to assist, like a bridge between the multinationals and the poor, as we speak currently, is collapsed. Not that it's collapsing, it's collapsed. And there are few factors responsible for this. One, the operating cost of an average small and medium enterprise as we speak is unbearable.
Yeah.
In the sense that, take for example, you are selling frozen foods and you're on band A. You need to pay electricity bill. Who bears the cost of some of those things? It's we, the consumers, that bear the cost on the long run because it will be transferred to you. If you are taking away the idea of even the energy cost, talked about the alternative power supply. Is it petrol that is not available? So if you are saying that the cost of petrol for an average man or woman who is not having power supply is to go and buy the fuel, he's not getting it at the pump price. So he's going to buy that because at this morning that I was coming to the studio, on my way to the first place, I still have those long queue. And you don't even get to those places and they will sell to you in the keg. Look at that implication on a small, see, most of the time people concentrate on multinationals. It's fantastic. But I keep saying that those that stabilize every economy are the small and medium enterprise. Because what that does is that as a small person, I can be doing this thing. You go outside the world, they say they are doing 4 or 5 jobs in a day. Yeah, we may not have that opportunity to do that, but we are that creative that I can choose to leave my work here now by 12 noon and still go back and start doing 1 or 2 things that I can see as contributing to the bottom line. But do we have the enabling environment for that to happen? The answer is no. So when you ask of the consequences on the long term, is that as we speak, the small and medium enterprises that are not surviving is trickling out more people, and that will cause more security threats.
Unemployment.
When you use that word, he said no, because while we are growing, we're being informed that an idle man is devil's workshop. And it's the basic truth. You wake up in the morning. Do you know the children are at home as we speak for holiday? If you don't engage them in critical things doing, you'll come back home, you see that your TV is down or something out there is down. But if you engage them and say, these are things I expect you to do, same is applicable for adults. Somebody has been laid off work, is thinking of other things he can venture into, but the business environment is not absorbing him in to bring out that creativity. Out, where do you want him to go? And that's what we're saying, resuscitate the small and medium enterprise. There is a policy, the federal government is coming up saying, we want to clinch on the bank. There is windfall, 50% to tax them. I said, have we taken time to monitor? When you look at the breakdown of every financial statement of the banks, there are money apportioned from their profit that is meant for SMEs. How many of these funds goes to the MSC? How many of these funds goes to the Yalodjas, goes to those that are actually in the market? Because they are the one. That's why I said I celebrated one of the policy of Asiwaju of giving that autonomy to the local government. We must get back to the grassroots. If the multinationals are not having it, we need to start domesticating things within our own comforts here. And that's why we said Mr. President and those that are handling our economy should start considering how can we have our refinery fixed? Pending when that will come, how are we giving support to our own Dangote to see how we can, because if you start operation now, be rest assured, there will be more employment. That's one. Two, those byproducts that we get, most of the time people will say we are giving out crude oil and we are bringing out refined product, PMX. What happened to the fertilizer? Do you know the number of byproducts that we'll get from that crude oil that is being refined? We still go ahead to buy it, and we are saying that foreign exchange should go down.
Okay, looking at the situation now, won't these protests, if it continues, aggravate the level of poverty in the country and the economic crisis that we are facing as we speak? Inflation is high, interest rates is high, and then when you look at your analysis just now, those protesting against bad governance, and they're right, because you just told us now that the business environment is hostile. And SMEs are barely surviving. That is not a justification for anybody to destroy or to go violent. But this fragile situation, won't it aggravate the level of poverty and cause more economic crisis for Nigeria?
It would definitely do that. And that's why people like us, a lot of people have attacked me on social media and saying, Sheson, you are part of the government now, so you can speak from that side. But I keep laughing. You see, two wrongs don't make right. If we come out and we distort the flow of activity, what we are doing is that you are killing the businesses the more, and we may not have any growth therein. Imagine if you don't have access to come to the studio today. I won't be here talking. And I'm sure for an organization like this, there are commercials that must roll. People must have pay up front. So when you are not here to roll those things or make those things available, consequently, you are going to be going down the drain. What we are saying is that the protesters have actually passed the message. What we should be engaging the government on now is that some of the promises that you have actually given, what are the timelines for some of these things? Take, for example, I listened to Mr. President saying CNG buses, the kits are available. I'm engaging them. I have just one car. I cannot take the risk of converting my vehicle to CNG because I need to ask questions, who have used it? But do you know we have government officials, they said the rights we are going to get now, the 40,000 is for civil servants. Make use of their own vehicle that you gave to them and let them make use of it to be CNG and let them come on air and tell us the viability of that. Then I can be motivated to say, okay, Jibola is my friend. Possibly it's an official car. It's now CNG. And it's coming to promote that to me. But you cannot ask a common man on the road to start converting. Is a risk. What if that does not favor me in years to come? Who bear the cost?
By example.
They must. That's an area we want them to see. Majority, before now they said, let's patronize the local people. I said the CNG buses, I want a situation where the state will have 50% of their vehicles converted to CNG. Then they will come on air like that to say, guys, I've been using it. Even if you don't come on air, all of them are our friends.
At least
and that will even cut the cost of governance.
It will. So at least you are now promoting it to say, we are leading by example to say the CNG buses or the CNG convertible, the 1,000 we have, more than 50% of our vehicle are on CNG. And this is the result. Because we must see that in your financials. I'm an accountant. It will reflect. From your operating cost. You cannot come and say it's good. And your operating cost is being overbloated by saying you still sustain those things. So they must lead by example.
Okay.
In the area of foreign exchange, we must start domesticating things. I keep telling every individual, people that patronizes foreign product, the price of some of those commodities have not increased. You are saying open the border. You are saying open everywhere. Do you know that a bag of rice, if they are still telling it to you at $10 last year, was just 700. When you multiply $10 by 700 by 500 as at last year, was like 5,000. What is it? If you pick that same $10 now, you are still buying it at that rate. It's over 16,000. That's like times 3.
Okay, Prince Kosoko, what message are you passing to those Iyaloja, Babaloja, for them not to lose hope at this particular time because they are not able to function 24 hours because of the protests?
We're meeting today again at the residence of President General to persuade them not to lose hope and to see what kind of assistance can be rendered to them through the.
Because I was going to ask that for those who have, lost or who are now counting losses on some of the products, they've had to, put away since the protest began. What support, are you thinking of giving to them?
That is what we are agitating for now. We are asking the local government chairman to come to our assistance. We are calling on the governor to come to assistance, have a dialogue with us in time, to let us tell him what we have lost, how far we have gone in losing, and we are not relying on that. We are still coming out to sell to people so that we can sustain the community. They said we have a meeting on Thursday, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock at the Colorium there. We'll be there, we'll discuss with them again and tell them what we are facing and the assistance they can give to us in time so as to still be in the market to be selling. We don't want a situation whereby the market will be shut down because we don't have funds to function. That is very, very important. And we have lost a lot of money. We have lost a lot of products. We have lost a lot of perishable things that we cannot really quantify. the assistance of the government is very, very important. And we pray they come to our aid in time.
Okay, I would like to ask, I know that goods have been lost, but I hope this has not impacted the prices of food items in the market ever since the protest began. Because
that is what we are working
on. No. Things can go up.
If you go to the market, you will see it has not skyrocketed. We are trying to bring it down. We are trying to bring it down. But when you continue to be telling you, I'm coming, I will give you sustenance, I will give you money, and nothing is coming, definitely it will affect the price of the product. If I buy something from Kano or Kaduna, bringing it to Lagos, the cost of transportation is very, very expensive because of the diesel price. And then people extracting money along the way from that place to here. Checkpoints. We want the IG to help us talk on this and security people. When you collect money from a marketer from Kano to Lagos, where is he going to get the money from? He's going to add it to the product he's going to sell. And when we bring it here, the one that's spoiled, we have to add it up to the product, the ones that are good that you want to sell. So if the road is free, if we buy products, the load is there, we bring it here, we offload it there. These are two major places where normally you must pay. So the price of products will not go too much high. But now that we are still selling what we are selling, at the rate we are still selling, that's why we are appealing now louder that they should come to our aid in time. If they still want us to be in the market, if they still want us to be selling for people to eat, then they should assist us with the situation on ground.
Okay, before the protest, I saw a video in Osun State, I think Ile-Ife or somewhere, where a Babaloja was addressing other marketers on prices of food, prices of goods, that, this is the amount that, they can sell this thing. Do you think that is also possible in markets in Lagos?
50-50, I cannot say it's possible because I work for this money. I get my money, I go into Kano to buy the products I'm bringing in, and the cost of transportation, the cost of what I buy, extortion on the road, I bring it down, I rent the shop with a kick clap, I want to sell. Nobody can tell me to sell it at 500 when I know it's not possible. But with the word of encouragement that we're having from a leader that we have here is a listening leader. That is Shemin Sofolasade, as I'm saying. She talks to us every week, every Tuesdays. We have a meeting, we dialogue, we tell her our problems, she advises us on what to do. She might not be coming to the market for people to be seeing that as sell for 500, sell for 300, but definitely all leaders of the market are having weekly meeting at our residence. That's our office, number 10, Sunday at the Ghost Street. We're having this morning again. She will talk to us, she will interact with us. What is the rate of what we bought? How do you think we can? So don't let us put too much price on it. The local government chairman too are doing their best. The governor is equally doing his best by bringing down the cost of these goods by reducing it 25% so that we can sell to people. We are the ones selling to them. They will give it to us. We will sell to our people. Then we use that to stabilize the market. We use that to bring down the price of what we think is getting higher. Beans, rice, gari, egg, all these things we sell on a weekly basis.
Okay, I have a question for you, Sheson. Looking at the things that are going on in Nigeria at the moment, is it okay to say the thing of things are falling apart and the center cannot hold economically? And how would the impact of this protest affect the international business market?
Sincerely speaking, I won't go that route because that's taking it too far to say that the center cannot hold. The leaders are trying their best. We might say from this perspective that their best is not good enough. They need to improve on it. There are basic things that we expect the government, if we must be placed on the right pedestal, in the international scene. How much are we actually being empathic on our citizens with some of our policies? That's the area to go. I listened to Prince very well. You see, an average market woman needs that assurance of bringing that goods to the market and selling and going home that day. But situation where those things are not guaranteed, or the mechanism that makes up the cost of pricing those goods. We keep saying when people get to market, I picked my wife. I say, leave this woman alone now. She's not exploiting you. You are a salary earner. I'm into business. It's what you buy, you will sell. Except you have somebody augmenting that cost for you. Are you aware that most organizations, I am a practical example. I have shaved my working days to 2 days in a week.
To cut costs?
Of course.
because the impact of that operating cost on daily basis is becoming unbearable. And when you look at you asking people to go vis-a-vis work from home, because part of the thing you tell them is when you're even working on it's another idea for you to be creative. But people will tell you that I have so many products, I'm creative enough. But the business environment is not even allowing it to be. I can tell you authoritatively that people that are actually jabbering, they are not having it favorable too, because it's a global problem. But ours is peculiar because certain things that needs to address the issue is not fundamentally being addressed. And that's why we address it to say, sir, if you are not going to reverse subsidy, which we air clearly on Sunday, what are the measures that we are actually putting in? One of it that is very critical to us is to, support the local refining of this product. If you go to US, Elon Musk is taking over the space of satellite. He has the backing of the government. Because when those individuals succeed, whether you want to say monopoly or no monopoly, I tell individual, if you are saying it's monopolizing, you create your own product and monopolize it. If it is easy to go into. It's good when people come. And do you know what every businessman like us face? You'll be very creative, you take the risk, you venture into it. People now come and say, what is my stake in this? When somebody took the risk. So when people come to say, people are monopolizing, I say, you two sit down, be creative enough, take the risk and monopolize it, we will support you. But the fact must be said, we must support our own because it gives a bad image when you are frustrating the effort of the locals. Then you are not even motivating others. I told every individual that came to listen, if Dangote succeed with this refinery, trust an average Nigerian, within the next 3 years, I can assure you that we'll have more than 5 privately owned refinery functioning.
Because other we encourage to invest.
Average businessman needs somebody to lead the line. They will now ask you, give us the templates. And you will not be, we are not that selfish here in this part of the world. We'll share the template because the more the merrier. But situation where you see frustration on the person taking the lead, people can say that, no, you don't win emotions to things. No, if there are areas where you feel that you can correct some of the things it's not doing right, it's to our favor. I want a situation where even if you are going to still sell at 568, the cost of bringing this thing from foreign country, empowering those other people there, let's cut it off. We cannot all be saying that bring rice in when we have those arable rice, and then we address the issue of security. I've said it, the kind of business I do regards me to travel far and wide this country without flying. But I can tell you in the last 8 years, I dare not do it. Even when I want to move, those days I can leave Lagos around 6 p.m. in the evening, I'm heading to Akure. You try that now, the first thing my wife will say, I think you're on a suicide mission. Mr. Man, you have to return back. Because of insecurity. But those days I feel so comfortable, the roads are fine, and there is security around. But these days, that is not up there. And you can see the impact of that on our businesses.
Is that not an indictment on government? That is one. And, as much as Mr. President tried to appeal for dialogue on Sunday, people have also criticized some of the approaches of government. Look at the issue of palliative. If you give me maybe a cup or two of rice now, once I finish that rice, I'll go hungry again. So why not introduce measures in place or put in place a strategy that will ensure that everybody is gainfully employed or can actually feed themselves instead of giving them peanuts?
You see, we've asked those advisors to Mr. President. This, I would, no apology to anyone. When you gain in something, you feel that's the best option. People like us have said it, we don't need rice. Don't even give us food. All this palliative, put that money in place to reduce the cost of electricity so that the boy by the side of my house who is actually doing small business can improve on it. And what that in tune is that he will be able to pay his taxes, which is another way of generating revenue. Government is struggling and saying revenue is not coming in when businesses are not growing. It can't come. So we have said, keep the idea of saying you want to give those foods out. Because the only food I've been hearing, that I've been sharing as palliative, is rice. But rice is not garri that we will soak now. When you give rice, people will still buy pepper.
To eat the rice.
And you dare not, those days when you give me egg to eat, it's like an insult.
But these days, I will celebrate you because I know the cost of egg.
Yeah.
So those things are to be added to, because they will tell us that don't take carbohydrate alone. Support it with protein to make it balanced. But can you even afford those protein? So that's why we're saying some of these palliatives that we are sharing, can we concentrate it on infrastructure development? Our youths are out there. They need internet infrastructure. It's been frustrating of late. People have attributed it to protest. But I can tell you, people have picked me up to say, no, Sheson, you are not speaking it right. It is not protest. The infrastructure is actually not strong enough to withstand the pressure we are putting on it.
Yeah.
Of late now, everybody is now journalist.
Internet, yeah.
You are on internet. Everybody must give video. Whether the video is right or not. Even when you are dancing at home, you just want to put it. Is our infrastructure, strong enough to withstand some of those things? The answer is no. Invest in infrastructure development. There are funds that have actually been separated for infrastructure by Mr. President. How much of monitoring are we doing to some of these things? I see a gap. A lot of people are actually mismanaging some of these funds, truth be told. But how do we follow through to make sure that we bring them to justice? I can tell you for free, when I listened to Mr. President on Sunday, I asked myself, as informed as I am, most of the monies that has actually trickled out from the federal government, a lot of us are not aware of it. And that's what we say. Kudos to our governor in this part of this state. Do you know a lot of governors are being enriched? No apology.
They got 570 billion according to Mr. President.
Yes!
And it's not even reflecting.
It's not reflecting on some of the states. And everybody centered on the federal government. Saying federal. Some of us have asked, let each state present their financials. We are accountants. Let's verify it. We've not had it. The institute that belongs to have accountability index to measure the public funds that we have. A lot of states are not availing it. But we can all go run to Mr. President every day that he's not doing it right. It's high time we redirect our strength to say, state governor, what? And I want the Minister of Finance and Economic Coordinating, Wale Edun, to come out. What have you availed before the removal of subsidy? What was the status quo? What are you giving to each state? As we say, we need data. We need to start engaging, because if we don't address this at the state, the local government autonomy that is coming, it will be just be free for all. So much money will go into that area and will not get value for it. I will keep telling people, because I've happened to be in place of leadership of small areas, it's not easy to lead. Because those that are surrounding you, and Mr. President needs to watch it. People like us have said, Baba, you are very close to us. Engage people at the grassroots. If Baba can come to Lagos and people are shouting on the street, Ebim Power, it's not a foreign language. It's a message for him. Baba that we know will not wind up. Baba is over. You see, Baba should wind down and hear what people are saying. If the masses are crying, if the elites are crying, it's passing up message. What we need now is not palliative. What we need now is how to resuscitate the small and medium enterprise for businesses. See, what my sister is wearing is the creativity of someone. But that person is actually forced out of business because the electricity we use to sew down your clothes is not there. If it's there, you cannot even afford it. I now see organizations where they switch off, AC. They will tell you don't on the AC, even when we are at work. I say, so why did we buy it? If you cannot sustain, these are areas we need to start concentrating on. You are not to tell us to manage
the fundamentals that people were expecting Mr. President to do immediately on Sunday. Okay, cut down the tariff of electricity.
They will tell you that
people can see.
But we have the Minister of Power advising the president, that, sir, don't cut that thing.
We voted for Mr. President, not the minister.
But the president can't do it all alone.
But he can give directive.
When you give the directive at the boomerang, he will come back and tell you, sir, but I advised you on this. That's why Mr. President is being careful. But we have said it that there are basic measures that he needs to take. Electricity, in fact, not electricity, power. Because it's divided into two. If you don't have the electricity power, upon increasing the tariff, we've been having grid collapse. And this morning, there is grid collapse since yesterday. I asked the question, those that are on band A, how will you compensate those losses that they've... A lot of people, because they are now on band A, have abandoned their generator. But when you cut it off, what becomes of them? So, you see, I'm not advocating for Mr. President, but the advisor needs to be realistic.
Okay, Sheson,
on some of the
time,
things that they are doing.
Let's quickly allow the Lagos babes to engage about biology as well, to know what the people at the grassroots are also expecting the government to do.
You said you have a meeting. So
we're having a meeting today.
So what do traders, really want from government?
The issue of electricity that my brother have just mentioned is very, very important. We have people that are selling frozen foods, selling turkey, selling fish, selling meat, selling this, and the cost of electricity is too much. Definitely, whatever they sell, the price that they pay for this electricity will be higher on the product they are selling. Absolutely. And that is why we are saying things are getting higher. When it's only one fish could be sold for 4,000, 3,500 naira. To preserve the fish for about 3-4 days before you get a buyer that's going to buy it, you pay for the electricity. So, and these little jobs that people are doing in the market, the charging of telephones, the charging of your batteries, barbing, hairdressing. People are not even going to the hairdressers again. They are going to the local people to part their hair. So this thing, the issue of electricity, I think should be subsidized. If we say we remove subsidy on petroleum or whatever, the issue of electricity must come down. The tariff should come down. Like I said, whatever bag of rice you are buying, bag of this you are buying, so let's stop on that. Let's generate fund to the electricity board, which the minister is handling. Let the minister purely advise the president that Nigerians are... We cannot be paying for everything we have in this country. We must at least be enjoying part of what we have. Electricity should be subsidized. If it's subsidized, then we know the pressure on that one is coming down. Then they focus the directive that has been given to Dangote refinery that it should be supplied locally and in Naira. Let that work. And if that one is working, it will have an impact on the economy. Then we know if Dangote works today, tomorrow, Port Harcourt will work. But if Dangote is not working, Port Harcourt will not work. They will advise the president.
We've been expecting Port Harcourt to work.
They will tell the president. Port Harcourt, yes, they will tell the president Port Harcourt is working on March. But it will not work in March. The president will say what they say that it's working in July. So they are just shifting the date. They are just shifting the date. And it's not an engineer that will know what is happening there. He has ministers, he has professionals that are handling it. Are they giving correct advice? Are they giving correct information? But like I said, if Dangote starts work today, definitely in the month's time, Port Harcourt will work. Because they want the competition to start rolling. Our advice is pick one of these two major issues that we have. Sectors, yeah. The power and the petroleum price that they say should come down. If you cannot go back on that price, let us subsidize electricity. Let the people from the grassroots enjoy the dividends of this democracy. People will not be shouting for, they will not be carrying Russian flags. They will not be shouting for military to come back. If the military comes back, we have derailed all the benefits we have in democracy. Yeah. And they will sit down there for the next 10 years again and say they are coming back to do what again? Then we'll start from zero. So this money we are talking about belongs to Nigeria. It is preserving the money to be for Nigeria. And it is for Nigerians to enjoy the money. But there are Nigerians now that are shouting, please, we are hungry.
As traders, there's a protest happening now. This protest will come and it will go. I'm not praying for another protest, but knowing our country, another protest will come at some point. So what are traders now doing, to ensure that they don't find themselves in this position again?
And this is why we are saying the local government chairman should come closer to the traders. The governor is doing his best to come to us. He's giving us incentives, and what he's bringing out is cutting down the price of products for us to stabilize the market. These things must be constant. These issues must be at least once in 2 months. You sit with marketers, you sit with traders to know what is going on in your state, to see how you can help them to bring out price of products. Lagos is harboring 200, 300 people every day. If they enter Lagos, they don't go back. They want to go back, you say maybe 50 goes. 250 are staying on daily basis. So we are increasing in numbers. And the food that we are equally selling to the people has to increase. And the manpower to get these foods is not there. The one you buy today, if you take 2 million to the market to buy some bags of rice, at what rate? To bring it in, at what rate? Because of the exorbitant fees you are going to be paying on the road, to bring it to the market, at what rate?
Where is federal government getting the rice they are even selling for 40,000?
We don't know.
That's another question.
And they said these rices are for civil servants.
Yes, for
So
civil
if civil servants
is it not from
get the
traders
rice,
like you people?
they are not getting it from us. They are saying they are giving to the civil servants. So we are going to definitely the civil servants will now sell it to the traders.
No. Civil servants are a priority to us now. They are the ones we...
What is the percentage of civil
Let's be
servants?
hopeful. It will get down to everybody.
No, we are people like us are very hopeful, are very optimistic. At least Jibola is a civil servant. If he gets one, I'm his friend.
You will get some.
Get from him. So some of us who are friends to the civil, those that are not friends to civil servant, they should start adopting it. But it's an exposure. It's an exposure, I must say. People, the federal government, and that's why I say the advisors need to watch it. They are now directing attention to the civil servant. Yeah. So when you don't even have access, because they've said come and register. Some people will feel like, why do I need to go and register for a bag of rice? Whatever the cost, I want to go the route of the people. But people that know you to be a civil servant will now say, maybe they've sold rice to you at 40,000. Give me part of it. And it becomes problem. That is part of what we're saying. Rather than redirecting that thing to the market, for you and I, who can still afford that 40,000 to, have that access to it and buy. We are not doing. We are now saying civil servants should come and register. Everybody will now put their eyes on the civil servant. And maybe before I mentioned something to my friend, Baba said, Port Harcourt, we are expecting it to come upstream.
This August.
This August. I remembered when Mr. President took over May 29, he gave a commitment that with the work the last administration did on Port Harcourt, we should expect that thing to come up by December.
Later it was July.
Then it came to, we followed the story, and it came to March. March, we came to April. April, we came to July. And I heard very well, this one is not doctor, it's not AI. The GMD of NNPCL saying, we have not come to tell you lie. By August, to the glory of God, this is August. If Mr. President don't take a decision on that major stream of our income, I said things are going wrongly, and we must address that fundamentals. We are waiting. If the GMD is not aware, maybe he's still thinking we are in July. This is August. And in the next few days, we will come to the end of August. Maybe what we will be, because these are things I told those protesters to say, let's engage government on some of these people that are managing these agencies. Somebody gave his words. I heard expressly, in the last administration, we will roll in this refinery to start working. Till now, none is functioning. And he's still collecting my tax. Not only turnaround, my own tax that I pay for government to generate revenue is what they use in paying his salary.
Yes.
And the man is still there. These are areas Mr. President needs to address. Enough of rhetorics. Because it's a slap on Mr. President. The trust gap keeps getting widened. How will my own president give us his words and we can't meet it and somebody is seated on that seat? If you have not had a thought through, don't go to Mr. President. And until you start taking that hard decision, you gave me these words that this will be ready, and I've given to my populace that they will start enjoying that thing, but you are not able to fire him out.
Sheson, because of our time, and Mr. President on Sunday indicated his willingness to dialogue with the protesters, of course, his plans to meet their demands. How do you think these protesters can take advantage of this channel opened by the federal government to right the wrongs? Because you can't stay on the street forever. It's
a big problem, Jibola, if you ask me. And it's because, when you don't have unity of direction, as it is, there are different sketches of protesters with different requests. It's not that you have, remember Ebun Adegorowa son, who claims to be their lawyer. At least you always have a legal advice from your people, say state down action. And people came out to say, no, he's not representing us. And that's the man that stick his neck to go and meet IGP
and say this is going to be peaceful. But I think he's trying to like exonerate, say, sir, I've advised my advisor, they are not ready to listen. I think I'm out of the game. So it will be difficult for them, because if the federal government want to talk to the protester, who actually are they going to address? We don't have this unit of purpose to say, some people are saying revert petroleum, so are saying release this person is saying, no, we want this to be addressed. You should be coherent and have that. That's why we keep saying that this protest, and the protest people are referring to in 2012, there are people that stood their neck and say, this is what we want.
It was essentially about removal of fuel subsidy then.
And they all came out, because when you addressed your issues, as a matter of fact, some people are saying that it did not even address some of the yearnings of the people. As a matter of fact, there are divergent of requests to Mr. President on this protest. Come together, converge. Not that somebody will come tomorrow and say, no, it's not part of us. This is what we are asking. Put all those things together and say, Mr. President, these are our 10 agenda we want you to address. And put timeline. That's part of the things I'm engaging the government on now. When you give us some of these promises, there must be timeline. As a finance person, we are very critical about that. Tell us refinery is coming up in the next 3 months. We want to hear it. CNG kits that has actually been advocated. I've said here that the civil servants should take the lead. At least they are collecting rights, which can always have their vehicle too being used as protection.
Official vehicles.
Let's use the official vehicles to now come. If you have 20 of those vehicles, take 10 and explore the opportunity granted by Mr. President to say 10 of these vehicles we are taking it out to be converted to CNG. And come back and let's see the impact of that particular thing. Then those of us that have all our ticket vehicle, we can now start thinking whether we are going to convert to CNG. But you cannot ask us to go and do that when we don't have the understanding. Those that are converting are those that maybe have like 4 or 5 cars. If I convert tomorrow and I don't even have the expertise, because the mechanics that we handle CNG are not those mechanics that we have on the road. And you know the way it is. And for those of us in Lagos, God help you, you convert to CNG and the thing got stuck on the road. The Almighty, my brothers, they are doing their job. Last month we help you tow it at no cost, but you will definitely pay something on it. These are things that we need to just have a see-through to. If government official get a car, get stuck on the road, now we now. If you penalize me, I will hold you the other way around because we are together in government. But if someone like me, will I be explaining to somebody that the cause of this traffic is because I converted my vehicle to CNG and I don't know what is actually happening? With petrol, every one of us, we are mechanics on our own. When it can, you come down and say, I know it's this that must have, it's that. But with CNG, we don't have the knowledge base, the expertise.
We hope the government will attend to
so
all
when they
those
do that,
that
we have the confidence that that has come to
because
stay.
we need to wrap this segment up in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Adebimpe, do you have any question for Baba
Yes, as the leader of the market, I'd like you to, leave a message of hope, to Lagos residents on the situation of market prices as at today.
Okay, as a market leader in my domain, in my domain, and under the control of Chief Mrs. Folashade Tinubu, the President General, I'm appealing to marketers in Lagos State generally to please let's calm down on the prices of products that we are selling. We should not put too much interest of gain into what we have on ground.
Does that happen?
It will happen. It will happen. It will happen.
So we know that happens.
It will happen.
Okay.
It normally happens when we put this kind of advice.
That's a discussion for another day.
We pray things will normalize. And we pray the agitators of this protest will come along, as you have said, pick 2 or 3 people out of them and let them go and discuss with the president.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Prince Abiodun Kosoko Babauja Agbado Okiodo, LCDA, and Olusegun Okunade, Policy Development Analyst. And we've been talking about the economic implication of the nationwide protest. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for welcoming us.
Okay, we'll go on another short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.